Hello beautiful people, welcome back to Q&A Tuesdays. My name is Anne. I'm a wellness coach and a makeup artist. I'm here to answer any of your nutrition, wellness, health, beauty questions you may have. So let's dive into it. Today we have a question from Leah. She writes from Austin, Texas. Hi Anne, love this new Q&A Tuesday section. Thank you Leah, I appreciate that you love this. I hope my questions get selected this week. I struggle to stay consistent with my workout. I find that I always somehow end up not having enough time in the day to work out. I know you talk about this quite a bit on your Instagram, but I find it hard to believe that working out 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough. Can you talk more about this and what tips you have to stay motivated and consistent with your workout? Love this question. I understand the pain. I've been there before where it's so hard to stay consistent and like how do people like work out every day? I couldn't understand. So I'm happy that Leah is addressing this. I do have a couple of other videos that I have dedicated to this topic specifically, so I'll link that below as well. And yeah, let's dissect this situation. So first of all, Leah writes about how can 10-15 minutes a day be enough. So she mentions that on Instagram I often talk about like, you know, squeezing in just 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes of Pilates, of yoga that I do almost every single day. How is that enough? So the thing is that of course I don't just move my body 10 to 15 minutes a day. So I mean, I move my body every single day. I do either yoga or Pilates or walk or pickleball or dance or something. If it's a full day that I'm so busy and I really don't have time, then I will at least squeeze in 10 to 15 minutes of Pilates or yoga just online. I do Pilates by Brioni or Boho Beauty on YouTube or Alo Moves or anything you can get your hands off, anything that's easy. 10 to 15 minutes on days that you really feel like you don't have the time is enough for me. And how do I find the time if I don't have time, right? So for me, for example, I do it between calls. Let's say if I have back-to-back calls, but I have to eat, right? So right before I go make lunch or dinner, if I'm not like starving when I'm like shaking, I'll squeeze in 10 to 15 minutes. Or between calls, let's say my call finished and I have 20 minutes or 15 minutes, perfect. Instead of picking up my phone and just like scrolling, checking emails, I'll prioritize my movements. And if I have 20 minutes, let's say, I'll move my body to 10 to 15 minutes. Or if I, let's say, really today is such a busy day, I like drive a lot and I will be out with people, then I'll do it in the morning. I'll wake up, drink my lemon water, meditate, and then move my body for 10 to 15 minutes. Really, it's a non-negotiable for me because for me, movement is mental health, movement is my body health, which leads me to the next thing. You have to establish your why, because motivation is not long lasting. You need to always remember your why, and that will help you stay consistent. So for me, I don't move my body for a hot body. I think that was my reason when I was in my 20s, and that's ultimately why I wasn't consistent, because it wasn't enough of a motivator for me. Maybe for somebody else, it's like, ooh, imagining them like hot, feeling hot in a bikini is enough of a motivation. I'm not judging that. But for me, my mental health and my overall health, specifically remembering how awful it feels to be sick, how awful it feels to be super depressed. And when I am depressed, I know that moving my body helps, and that is my huge why. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm really not feeling great, I know a little yoga session, a little Pilates session, or even honestly one song to dance to will shift my state. So that is my huge why. So be clear, why do you do it? And not just like, well, to be healthy, but like really find an engaging, emotionally engaging why. Maybe it is to lift up your children, to be so healthy that you can play with your children, run around if you're overweight, let's say, to really not feel the pain anymore. That to me is enough of a reason. But a lot other people have higher pain tolerance, so you need to define and connect with your own emotional why. And then, so besides the 10 to 15 minutes of movement that I do on some days, most days it's 15 to 20 minutes or half an hour. And then I also mix it up with actually going to a class where I will be stuck in a class and I will have to do a full 45 to 50-minute class. And I do that about twice or 3 times a week, most often twice, to be honest with you. And on days, so going back to the days when I do 10 to 15 minutes, which is not too often, it's a little more, I will also always do a walk. Most of the time I do a walk in the evening. So after dinner, Jonathan and I, without fail, walk every single day unless I'm really sick or I'm feeling not well. Then, but more like you can almost bet on it that after our meal we'll take a walk. If it's not for 15 minutes, then half an hour at least, and then more often than not a full 45 minutes to a whole hour. We walk every single day. So yes, is 10 to 15 minutes of yoga a day may not be enough, although I'll argue it's better than nothing. But if you do 10 to 15 minutes movement and then also like an hour walk, so you see how it stacks up. And why I say 10 to 15 minutes is because you can also do it a couple of times. You can break up your calls, your meetings, or your long sitting hours with, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes yoga and then 10 to 15 minutes Pilates, and then in the evening half an hour walk. So I'd rather you try to squeeze in those like 10 or 7 minutes, even 15, 20 minutes, like different movements throughout the day, than feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have a full hour or even an hour and a half, taking into account driving there or commuting, right, wherever you live. Then you kind of forgo movement altogether. Then you end up just being on the couch and sitting all day, and that is the worst thing. So that's why I recommend like kind of like little movement snacks or movement breaks instead of trying to really like dedicate a whole hour if you don't have. That being said, I do go to a class, like I said, a couple of times a week at least, so I do highly recommend sticking to like a longer workout as well if you can, like 30 minutes run or 45 minutes run or a full class. But on days that you can't, then 10-15 minutes is enough. So that way you move your body every single day. The least you can do is walk. If you really like walking in the morning, I love doing that if it's not too sunny. Usually if I wake up like at 6 or 7 in the morning, it's really beautiful. So I like walking in the morning as well, which is so great for you because it's like moving your body and also getting sunlight into your eyes, which helps you with your circadian rhythm, wakes up your body, like gets your hormones and your body systems going, and also helps with your sleep. Walking in the morning, walking after your meals, 10-15 minutes movement break, dance breaks, or just honestly squats or whatever you can do throughout the day is really wonderful. And also if you live in the city, you can walk you know, a little more, or even if you're not in the city, just park your car a little further, take a little walk, or I don't know, these sound so cliche, but take stairs. The key is honestly just moving your body throughout the day as much as you can. It's not about just going to the gym and checking the box, because I said this so many times in other videos. If you're sitting all day and then just going to the gym for 1 hour, it's still a sedentary lifestyle, which is really not good for your body. So I highly recommend just taking those movement breaks, even if you have a gym time or like a class time schedule later on. Just try to move your body throughout the day as much as you can. Let's say if you're taking a Zoom call or a meeting or calling a friend or your parents, instead of sitting or being on your phone, just, you know, move your body as you're talking to your mom or talking to your friend or being on the call. Take a walk if you can, or do so on a treadmill. If you need to watch something, I know that I heard of like this influencer, she shared on the podcast that if she consumes social media like TikTok and Instagram, then she will only do that while on a treadmill. So that way, if she really has to use that little guilty pleasure that at least she's moving her body instead of being like lost in the rabbit hole and scrolling and just being on the couch, which is like all together is not great and you won't feel great after. So yeah, it's just about getting creative, about thinking outside the box and seeing how can you move your body more. Really identify, also this is key, what type of movements do you enjoy? For me, it took me some time, but I realized that I do love Pilates. I found the type of Pilates I love, because mat Pilates I didn't enjoy that much until I met Brioni. And even, let's say, a type of workout you have that you think you don't like. For me, for example, mat Pilates, but sometimes you connect with certain teachers. Like Brioni, I talk about her a lot, and I love her teachings, and I connect with her workouts, and that makes me more consistent. And I found Reformer Pilates, which I really fell in love with, and I found twerk class, for example. I used to not like dance classes at all, but then I found a great, fun twerk class, and the teacher is amazing, the music is fun, usually it's always a good time. So yeah, it's about finding the things that you really enjoy. I also love pickleball, as you guys know. Even though I wasn't in any sports before, I always thought like I'm just not like into it. Like as I grew out of elementary school, when I was in elementary school, high school, I loved sports, but then I grew out of it and I thought I'm just not a person who loves competitive sports like tennis or golf or anything like that. But then I found pickleball. So it's really about being open-minded, trying everything, trying different teachers, trying different studios, and then seeing what clicks and what you enjoy, instead of like, oh, this is effective for weight loss, oh, this is effective for yada yada yada. Because when you enjoy it, you actually are, when you enjoy some movement and you're consistent with it, it is way more impactful than if you do something that you really hate and then you have to struggle with consistency, and then you're on the wagon, you walk off the wagon. So I hope this helps. Personally, I am a Gemini, so I love a variety of things. So right now, for example, I haven't played pickleball in weeks. This summer in general, I haven't been playing pickleball that much, even though last summer I was a hardcore pickleball girl, and that's okay. Right now, this phase in my life, I'm really into Reformer Pilates, and then in summer I was really hardcore on Pilates in general. I did a lot of mat Pilates, but right now it's only Reformer a couple of days a week, and then I restarted yoga again, even though this whole summer I was off yoga. And then I did twerk class in the summer, now I'm off it. So really just be in the flow, honor your body. Right now I'm into yoga, I'm into Reformer Pilates, I'm into walk. Yeah, I'm just kind of like listening to your body, but moving it regardless every single day. And I've been doing a lot of beach walks as well. And yeah, not so much hiking this year. Just find things that you enjoy, find things that are fun for you, find people that you enjoy connecting with and doing it with, and it will be way less hard to be consistent. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments below. And if you have further questions for other Q&A Tuesdays, leave your questions in the comments as well, or you can also DM me in my Instagram. I'm off Instagram for right now, but I do check my DMs here and there. And if you want a personalized wellness program for you, including nutrition, diet, and movement, if you need personalized assistance to really help you find that workout that you love, find that workout that sticks, find that wellness program that really sticks, and you want to take your health to the next level, also we'll leave the Calendly link below so you can schedule your very first call. It's absolutely free with no commitment, no strings attached, and you and I will just connect and we'll see how I can support you, and if not, I can also refer you to so many other resources. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.